Until recently, car thieves had a simple brute force method. Take a crowbar, smash the window. But modern cars are loaded with computers and hackers are moving in. Security experts have shown it can be done by taking control of a car's steering, braking, locks, lights, and other functions. Let's learn more from Dan Ackerman, senior editor at CNET. Dan, good morning.
Good morning to you guys.
We talk about all this technology and even in the prospect here of driverless cars. How big a threat is this idea of cyber hacking your automobile?
You know, we talk so much about now smart cars, connected cars, and yeah, even driverless cars. It's surprising we don't think about this more because these things are connected in so many ways. A lot of them just have, Bluetooth connections for local stuff, but cars are starting to build in now 4G connections so people in the car can get onto the internet, while they're driving. And of course, a lot of the cars have their own operating systems. Some of them get updated over the air. And I think it's really interesting. We're asking people, insurance companies are asking people to plug third-party devices into their cars and track some of that data. So that's a lot of ways you're kind of bringing outside influences into your vehicle.
I need you to hold my hand on this one a little bit. Exactly how does this work? So can a thief basically, if you are connected to the internet, hack your car the same way that they could a computer?
Well, fortunately, right now, most of the car hacking that we've seen demonstrated is pretty academic. It's actually kind of hard to do, it's expensive, and there's not really any payoff. And hackers like to go where there's easy money, like getting people's credit card numbers. So what we've seen is people who are academics and interested in the topic getting into a car with a laptop, connecting to a data port, being able to control like the headlights and unlock the doors. And
it can be done, though.
It can be done. Right now, I think it's too impractical to actually be something that hackers and thieves would commercially do, but we're starting to get to the point now where people can demonstrate it on a pretty regular basis.
So it's not just about protecting consumer privacy, it's also about safety. I think when Anthony mentioned driverless cars, my first thought was, so down the road, could someone take control of your car if they've hacked into the system?
I think driverless cars is one of those topics where everyone is super interested in it. It seems like a great way to drive in the future, but there are so many problems, regulatory, insurance-wise, and now technology-wise. I think it's going to be a long time before we see these actually on the road because of these safety issues.
How well protected are computer systems in automobiles? How sophisticated are they?
Well, that's the thing. We're sort of in the early days of this right now, and I don't think they've put a lot of thought into how to protect these systems and how to authenticate all the messages and data that come into them. And we're also asking people to bring their own personal devices into the car. You plug your phone in, you plug your media device in, whether it's Bluetooth, direct connection. Now, those systems are usually separate from the control systems of the car, but you're still bringing an outside device that is a lot easier to compromise, a lot easier to hack a phone, into your car and connecting it.
You mentioned those outside devices. I mean, we're so used to now software updates. Everything has to be updated to increase the security. Down the road, or even now, will we have to start updating our car software just for cyber crimes?
I mean, it's not just car software. We talk about smart home appliances all the time now, too, and you have to update the operating system basically on your refrigerator or your stove or your car. That's another big point of vulnerability, especially if you're not going to get all the latest updates that you need without doing these updates, so you feel like you have to do them.
Dan, one expert said the security protection on cars is virtually non-existent. So what do we have to do ultimately to protect ourselves in this case?
I think that the cars need to learn to authenticate the data that comes in, particularly if you're getting information from a car nearby that's maybe slamming on its brakes and that makes your car want to do the same thing or avoid an accident. You have to have a handshake that's very authenticated for that, and we also have to make sure people are careful connecting their own, either their phones, their devices, or those little dongles that the insurance companies give you to the car.
You've mildly freaked me out about my car, Dan Ackerman. Thank you so much.
That's my job.